In the heart of the savannah, where the baobab trees stretch their gnarled arms toward the heavens and the wind carries whispers of ancestors long past, there lived a tale so ancient it seemed woven into the very roots of the earth. Gather close, children of the sun, for this is no ordinary story. It is the saga of Kofi, the boy with a heart of thunder and a spirit tethered to a curse. They say his laughter could summon rain, but his anger could split the skies with lightning. In the village of Nadako, where the millet fields danced with the rhythm of life and the river sang lullabies at dusk, Kofi's name was both a blessing and a shadow, for you see, forgiveness was a stranger to him, and that stranger held the key to a destiny he could not yet fathom. This is the tale of how a boy's rage became his prison, and how an unexpected hand reached through the bars to set him free. A story of betrayal, redemption, and a twist that will leave you questioning the stars themselves. Long ago, when the moon was young and the stars still learned their places in the sky, Nadako thrived under the watchful eye of Elder Amara, a woman whose wisdom was said to rival the oldest tortoise. Her skin was a map of wrinkles, each line a story of survival, and her eyes held the glow of a fire that never dimmed. She was the keeper of traditions, the one who poured libations to the ancestors and interpreted their signs in the rustling leaves. But even her power could not shield the village from the storm that brewed within Kofi, a boy of 12 summers, whose father had vanished into the wilderness years before, leaving behind a mother who wept in silence and a son who swore vengeance on the world. Kofi was no ordinary child. His hands were skillful, crafting toys from discarded calabashes and whistles from river reeds, but his heart was a cauldron of unresolved fury. The villagers whispered that his father, Jengo, had been a hunter of great renown, a man who could track a leopard by the scent of its breath. One fateful day, Jengo had ventured into the forbidden forest, a place where the trees grew so thick the sun barely kissed the ground, and where spirits were said to guard secrets older than time. He never returned. Some said he was devoured by a beast with eyes like molten gold. Others claimed he had offended the forest spirits and was cursed to wander eternally. Kofi, however, believed a different tale, one whispered by a rival hunter, Quame, who had coveted Jengo's status. Quame had hinted with a sly grin that Jengo's disappearance was no accident, that jealousy had sharpened a blade in the night. This seed of doubt took root in Kofi's young mind, growing into a vine of hatred that choked out his laughter. He stopped playing with the other children, his once bright eyes now shadowed with mistrust. When Quame passed through the village square, Kofi would glare, his fists clenched as if ready to strike. The elders noticed, and Amara called him to her hut one evening, the air thick with the scent of roasted yams and sage. Kofi, she said, her voice like the rustle of dry grass, your heart is a drum beating war, but war destroys the drummer as much as the foe. What weighs on you, child? Kofi's jaw tightened. Quame killed my father. I know it. I feel it in my bones. I will make him pay. Amara's eyes softened, but a flicker of concern crossed her face. Feelings are not proof, my son. The spirits have shown me no such vision. Seek the truth before you seek revenge, or you will lose more than you gain. But Kofi was deaf to her words. That night, under a sky pierced by a crescent moon, he made a vow to the ancestors. He would uncover the truth and deliver justice with his own hands. Little did he know that the path he chose would lead him not to justice, but to a mirror of his own soul and a twist that would unravel everything he believed. The next morning, Kofi began his quest. He gathered a small sack of provisions, dried mangoes, a gourd of water, and a knife his mother had hidden from him, and slipped into the forbidden forest. The air grew heavy, the sounds of Nadako fading into a distant hum. Trees loomed like silent sentinels, their branches dripping with moss, and the ground was carpeted with leaves that crunched like bones underfoot. Kofi's heart pounded, but his resolve was iron. He followed a trail he believed his father had taken, guided by a memory of Jengo's stories about a hidden spring where the water glowed with the light of forgotten stars. Hours passed, and the forest seemed to close in, its shadows twisting into shapes that mocked him. Then he heard it, a low, mournful hum, like the cry of a wounded animal. Pushing through a thicket, he stumbled into a clearing where a figure knelt beside a stream. It was Quaim, his rival, his hands trembling as he dipped a cloth into the glowing water. Kofi froze, his knife slipping into his grip. This was his chance. Quaim, Kofi shouted, stepping forward. You murdered my father. Admit it, or I'll send you to the spirits myself. Quaim turned, his face pale, his eyes wide with fear, but instead of defiance, tears streamed down his cheeks. Kofi, I didn't kill him. I swear it. I came here to find him too. Kofi's hand wavered, confusion battling his rage. Liar. You wanted his glory. You said I said what I thought would protect me. Quaim interrupted, his voice breaking. Django was my friend. When he vanished, the village turned on me. I spread rumors to save my skin, but the guilt has eaten me alive. I've been searching for him, hoping to prove my innocence. Kofi's mind reeled. Could it be true? Before he could decide, the ground trembled and a deep voice rumbled from the trees. You both seek Django, but only one can claim him. Choose your path, vengeance or truth. A figure emerged from the mist, a spirit of the forest, its form shifting between man and tree, its eyes glowing like the stream. It held a staff that pulsed with light, and in its other hand it cradled division. Django, alive, trapped in a crystalline cave, his voice a faint echo calling for help. The spirit spoke again. Quaim's lie bound him. Kofi's anger keeps him. Only forgiveness can free him. But beware, the choice will cost you dearly. Kofi's knife fell to the ground. Quaim sank to his knees, sobbing. The tale was just beginning, and the twist that awaited would test the very essence of their souls. As the forest spirit's words hung in the air, the clearing seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The glowing stream shimmered, casting reflections that danced like spirits on the mossy ground. Kofi's heart thundered in his chest, his dropped knife glinting faintly in the strange light. Quaim remained on his knees, his sobs mingling with the hum of the forest, a sound that seemed to weave itself into the fabric of the moment. The spirit's form, half man, half tree, loomed taller, its bark-like skin cracking as it moved, its glowing eyes fixed on the two boys. The vision of Django, trapped in the crystalline cave, flickered like a flame about to die, his faint call echoing, "Forgive, free me." Kofi's mind raced, the rage that had fueled him for years clawed at his insides, urging him to seize the knife and end Quaim's life right there. Yet the spirit's words gnawed at him. Only forgiveness can free him. Could it be that his father's fate hinged not on revenge, but on something he had never learned to give? He glanced at Quaim, whose tear-streaked face was a mirror of guilt and desperation. The rival hunter's confession still rang in his ears. A lie born of fear, not malice, but could Kofi trust it? Could he forgive? The spirit raised its staff, and the air grew thick with a scent like rain-soaked earth. The choice is yours, it intoned, its voice a rumble that vibrated through Kofi's bones. Vengeance will bind Django forever. Truth and forgiveness will open the path. But know this, the cost will be yours to bear. Step forward, Kofi, son of thunder, and decide. Kofi swallowed hard, his throat dry as the savanna in drought. He took a hesitant step toward the spirit, his eyes darting between the vision of his father and Quaim's trembling form. "How do I know you speak true?" he demanded, his voice cracking with the weight of his doubt. "How do I know this isn't another trick?" The spirit's eyes narrowed, and the clearing darkened as if the sun itself had turned away. "The forest does not lie," it said, "but the heart does. Look within, child. The answer lies there." With a wave of its staff, the vision of Django grew clearer, his father's face etched with exhaustion, his hands pressed against the crystal walls that held him. Beside him, etched into the cave's surface, were symbols Kofi recognized from his mother's tales. The mark of the ancestral pact, a binding spell cast by those who broke trust. Quaim's lie, it seemed, had triggered this magic, but Kofi's unrelenting anger had strengthened it. Quaim crawled forward, his voice hoarse. Kofi, I beg you, I was wrong. I feared the village's wrath after Jengo vanished. I thought if I claimed his glory, they'd spare me. But I've searched for him every night since, praying to the ancestors for forgiveness. Let me help you free him. Let me prove it. Kofi's fists clenched, his nails digging into his palms. The urge to strike was overwhelming, but the spirit's words echoed louder. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply, and for the first time he let himself feel the pain beneath his anger, the loss of his father, the silence of his mother's tears, the loneliness that had shaped him. A tear slipped down his cheek, unexpected and hot. Could forgiveness be the key? Could he release this burden? Very well, Kofi said at last, his voice steady despite the tremor in his heart. I will try. But if this is a lie, Quaim, I will hunt you to the ends of the earth. The spirit nodded, its form softening as if pleased. Then the trial begins. Follow the stream to the cave of echoes. There you will face the mirror of your souls. Only by facing your truths can you break the pact. Go now and do not falter. With that, the spirit dissolved into mist, leaving the boys alone in the clearing. The stream's glow intensified, guiding them like a lantern through the dense forest. Kofi retrieved his knife, sheathing it with reluctance, and motioned for Quaim to rise. Together they set off, the silence between them heavy with unspoken words. The journey was treacherous. Vines snagged at their clothes, and the air grew colder, the hum of the forest giving way to eerie whispers. Kofi's mind churned with memories, his father teaching him to carve wooden birds, the day Jengo left with his spear and never returned, the night his mother whispered that love was stronger than hate. Quaim walked beside him, his head bowed, occasionally glancing at Kofi as if expecting a blow. The tension was a living thing, coiling tighter with each step. After what felt like hours, the stream led them to a cavern entrance, its mouth framed by jagged rocks that glistened like teeth. The air inside was damp, and the sound of dripping water echoed off unseen walls. As they stepped into the darkness, the ground beneath them shifted, and a soft light bloomed, revealing a vast chamber. At its center stood a mirror, its surface rippling like water, framed by roots that pulsed with life. Above it, etched into the rock, were the same ancestral pact symbols. Welcome to the Cave of Echoes, a voice boomed, the spirit's presence returning without form. Here you will see your truths. Kofi, step forward. Kofi approached the mirror, his reflection wavering as if alive. Suddenly, the image shifted, showing not his face but a scene from the past. He saw himself as a child, hurling stones at Quaim after the hunter's sly remark about Jengo. He saw the villagers turn away, their whispers labeling him a troublemaker. Then the scene changed his mother, kneeling by the hearth, murmuring, "Forgive, Kofi, or you'll lose yourself." The images stabbed at him, each one a wound he'd buried deep. Now, Quaim, the spirit commanded. Quaim stepped up, and his reflection revealed a different tale. Kofi watched as Quaim, years ago, stood trembling before the village elders, accused of Jengo's disappearance. He saw Quaim fabricate the rumor to deflect blame, his fear twisting into a lie that spread like wildfire. Then a new scene, Quaim sneaking into the forbidden forest night after night, leaving offerings at the spirit tree, pleading for Jengo's return. The guilt was real, etched into every line of his face. The mirror dimmed, and the spirit's voice returned. "You have seen. Now, Kofi, will you forgive? Quaim, will you atone? The pact demands a sacrifice, a piece of yourselves to break the binding. Choose, or Jengo remains lost." Kofi turned to Quaim, his chest tight. The mirror had shown him his own role in the cycle of hate, his refusal to listen to his mother or Amara. Quaim's atonement was evident, his nights of penance a silent cry for redemption. Could Kofi let go? Could he offer the forgiveness his father needed to be free? I I forgive you, Kofi said, the words tasting foreign on his tongue. But I need you to help me find him. Together, Quaim nodded, tears falling anew. I will, I swear it. The spirit's approval rumbled through the cave. The pact weakens. Offer your sacrifice, your pride, your pain, and the cave will guide you to Jengo. Kofi closed his eyes, letting go of the anger that had defined him. Quame followed, releasing his guilt. The mirror shattered into light, and a path opened, leading deeper into the cavern. The tale was far from over, and the twist that awaited would test their newfound bond in ways neither could imagine.